law of cause and effect says that thoughts are causes and conditions are effects. Your thoughts create the conditions of your life. Whatsoever a man soweth, so also shall he reap. Whatsoever a man soweth in his mind, he reaps in reality. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. In other words, whatever you put in, you get out. And you can't get out without putting in. There's an enormous number of people who want to get out without putting in. They want to become wealthy without making any contribution. They want to have money without creating any value. But it'd be the same as going to the field and saying, I want a crop, but I don't want to put in any seed. The fact is that the universe has a law, and the granddaddy law of the universe is cause and effect, sowing and reaping, action and reaction. And it doesn't matter if you went to the best schools or the worst schools or no schools, it's just a matter of law. And if you get your life in harmony with the laws, everything changes. If you get your life in conflict with the laws, nothing will happen to you except for bad things.
You know, if you grew up in a family where there was criticism was the norm, then you're going to grow up to be a critical person. You're going to look at everything in life as with criticism, and you probably criticize yourself and other people. If you grew up in a family where you were not allowed to express anger, then either you're a person who is terrified of anger, or you swallow it down all the time and you let it sit in your body. If you were raised in a family where everybody was manipulated by guilt, you're probably a person who runs around saying, I'm sorry all the time. I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And you can never ask for anything outright because you always want to manipulate somebody. But these are old family patterns. But remember, you're in charge now. Doesn't matter what your parents said, doesn't matter what anybody else did, doesn't matter what you learned. What really matters is what you are choosing to think and say now. Because you're the only person that thinks in your mind. You choose your thoughts.
I say 100 times a day, my name is Glenda Baker and only good things happen to me. That is a mantra. That is a mantra to live by. I'm telling you, last night I go to the Botanical Gardens. Driving into the garage, my name is Glenda Baker and I'm going to get a great parking space. 3 spaces from the elevator. And that self-talk is so critical for success. When I was first separated, for so long I thought I was so stupid, I was so stupid, I was so stupid. And I was telling myself that. And I was putting all that negativity in my head. Stop saying that to yourself. And so now I literally just say, my name is Glenda Baker and only good things happen to me, and I'm only going to talk sweet to myself.
A study done by a Harvard scientist that took a group of men in their 70s and 80s to a monastery north of Harvard. She asked these men for 5 days to pretend that they were 22 years younger, thinking that way, acting that way, and feeling that way. And she put pictures of the Kennedy brothers and Marilyn Monroe and Nat King Cole and the Cuban Missile Crisis and magazines and reminded them of being 22 years younger. At the beginning of the study, she measured all these objective measurements and they cut them loose for 5 days. The researchers said at the end of 5 days, she was playing touch football with these men without their canes. She brought them back into the lab and she took all those objective measurements again. Finger lengths were longer, toe lengths were longer. That means arthritis was better. Some of them were taller. Their cognition improved by 60%. Their range of motion changed. So the question is, who are you pretending to be or who are you pretending not to be? Those men couldn't say, finger lengths get longer, toe lengths get longer, brain work better. They had to become that person, which indicates that.
Why was the gene a BioLink?